Okay, it's New Year's Eve afternoon, so let's get down to this. This combination grinder lapper started off as something else. It started off as a conventional grindstone on this end and a slow rotating sharpening wet stone on the opposite end. I'll put a photograph up at the end of the video to show you exactly how it started. The fast end runs at about 2,950 RPM. The original stone and guarding was removed and I made an aluminium plate to pick up on the original hole centres, and at the bottom of the aluminium plate there's a square piece of aluminium bar section with two plates which are slotted to allow height adjustment, and a square block to pick up for the table which is also allowed to tip. I've cut the plates at 7 degrees, which seems to be the general consensus about the right angle for clearance when doing cutting tools. To mount the actual 75mm diamond cap, I machined a small boss. This fits on the shaft, and then obviously the cap fits onto there. The boss is about 1 millimeter short of the surface of the cap, which will allow the nut to tighten up into place. I used aluminium for the table, which is a mistake. You need to use steel or if possible cast iron. The unfortunate part about aluminium is it's soft, and when you sharpen tools they get a tendency of digging in, so you can't get nice smooth movements across the front of the stone when you're actually sharpening. It's also, if you notice, offset to one side. This allows me a little bit more working area for positioning the tools as they're being sharpened. I found out very quickly when I mocked this up that I needed the table to be adjustable in height. If you actually change the angle of the table for a different tool or whatever, or you've got a different thickness or section of tool, you could end up being up here at a really strange angle approaching the cap. So by making it so you can adjust it, you can get back close to the actual center of rotation, which seems to be the best position for doing the cutting. On the slow end, it's a worm and wheel configuration, and it runs at 130 RPM. This particular unit, when I had it, the shaft was inverted and out this side for the water bath. So I had to flip it over and refix it with the 4 original screws. This did mean that I had to remove the pin from the wheel here and then re-drill it into the correct place so it was well engaged onto the worm gear. The shaft is just soft mild steel, it's nothing special, which was cut down, and then on the end of the shaft it was drilled, tapped, and the boss was fitted to it. The mounting configuration for the table is the same as the fast side. Bit of aluminium bar fixed through the bottom of the gearbox, pair of upstand legs and a plate at an angle. The disc is mounted in this particular occasion with 2 neodymium magnets. I can never get that word out. And because the actual lapping disc is mild steel, you can actually just slide it into place and it will lock. Table again is made of aluminium, which is again a mistake. It should be steel to allow you to have free movement of the cutting tools when you're lapping them into place. Well, I've thrown it back together after a little strip down and a little inspection. So let's give it a try and see what you think. Just blacked the end of this cutting tool here just to give you a bit of a reference so you can see what's happening. Just needs a touch more. think that'll just about do. You could probably get away with this, but if you want to take it one step further, let's try a bit of lapping as well. Just re-blacked again, this time obviously opposite side of the wheel, and you don't really need to rely on the table. You just push the actual tool until it feels like she's in full contact with the slow moving disc. A bit more on the top. Of course, all we're really doing here is just polishing, taking out any very, very fine marks, which I've been led to believe will aid the cutting. But being completely useless at sharpening in general, we'll wait and see. I think you can see the general effect of how it works. So for maybe 15 British pounds, 20 US dollars for the disc and also the cup, I can achieve really good results. I'm really pleased with it, even though it's still just proof of concept.